Hey everyone, it's Beth here from Kin Yoga. I have got a delicious slow flow for you today. It's a really nice chilled one. We're going to work into most parts of the body and I'm really feeling like it. In fact, full disclosure, I just ate a huge kebab and some hot chips. So I think slow flow is about all I can muster today. But actually, I've been really loving them anyway. They just feel good in my body. Power flow was always my thing, but I think maybe I'm changing. I think I'm a slow flow gal now. Anyway, let's get into it. We'll start in child's pose. Coming to the back of your mat, big toes together, knees out wide, and then walking your arms forward so that your chest can descend down towards the floor. And you might find that your forehead reaches the mat. If it does, then rest it down. Otherwise, you might like to place a pillow under your forehead or maybe one under your hips. Between your hips and your heels helps you feel more comfortable here. All I want you to do is find a shape that feels good for your body. One where you're just stretching maybe, but in a really soft and gentle way. And when you found your comfortable shape, can you start to just bring your connection into yourself, your mat, your space here for this practice today? Noticing where your body touches down and connects with the mat. And feeling a sense of heaviness through the body as it nestles and settles down onto this structure below the floor, the grass, wherever you are today. Letting that sense of heaviness just travel throughout your whole body and feeling how it just really presses you down towards the floor and lets your body melt and relax. Start to draw your awareness to your breathing. Nice, deep, long breaths in and out of the nose if you can. And see if that helps you relax your body perhaps a bit more. You might feel on the inhale breath, your body becomes a little bit lighter as you breathe the air in. And then that sense of heaviness comes with the exhale, you soften and relax into the mat. A few more breaths like that here. Let's take one more deep breath in and follow it with an exhale out. Now start to walk your hands over towards the left. So you're finding a little stretch, a side body stretch in your child's pose. You keep your hips down low, keep pressing your right hip bone back as you reach through your right fingertips. Lots of length through the right side body as you breathe into the side ribs, feeling them expand. And exhale and soften into the pose. One more deep breath in here. Exhale, let's walk back to the center. Take a full breath. And then walk your hands over to the right side of the room. So now you're finding lots of extension through the left side of your body. You're pressing your left hip down towards your heel. You're stretching out through your left fingertips and you're breathing into your left side ribs. You feel them expand with the inhale and you soften your body with the exhale. It gets heavy. One more breath here. And when that breath is complete, walking back to the center. A full breath. And the next inhale will bring you up onto your heels. So your seat bones will stay down on your heels, but you raise the upper body up as you bring the arms behind you. Point the fingertips towards the knees if you can, and then start to lift through your hips. so that you find a nice stretch for the front of your legs, for the quads and through the shoulders. If it's not comfortable to have the fingertips pointing towards the toes, you can turn them around to the back. Maybe that feels better for your shoulders. And let's stay for one more deep breath in, pushing the hips just a little bit higher. And on the exhale, bring them back down to the heels. Walk the hands forward, walk them all the way to the front of the mat. Let's come into a seal pose. So here we keep the arms extended long and take the feet out to the corners of the mat. So your legs are all resting down on the mat and you feel a big back bend here. One more deep breath in. Exhale to release. One more breath in here. And then on the exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips back, downward facing dog. Start to pedal out your feet, find some movement. You might move the feet, you might move the hips. You might roll back and forward with the body. Whatever you need here to warm your body up is exactly what you should do. And we'll just stay for another couple of breaths, working into downward facing dog. And then we'll come to a place of stillness. Once you're in a place of stillness, can you think just for a moment about bending the knees perhaps a bit more so that you can push your chest closer towards your thighs and you find perhaps more length then through your spine. If that feels good and you can feel that length, then start to drip the heels towards the ground and just take them so far as that you don't lose that extension through your spine. One more deep breath in. On the exhale out, walk your feet to the edges of the mat and then walk your hands all the way back towards your feet as you sit down into Malasana yogi squat. You can bring the hands to heart center and we'll spend a few moments here feeling into our hips. If you're a little bit higher up, that's totally fine. Work with what your body needs today. You might like to find a bit of movement in this first time here. I like to move side to side, swaying with my knees. Just making sure that you keep your chest nice and lifted, gaze is forward. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release that breath. Take your right hand to the floor. Inhale your left hand up towards the ceiling, find a twist. And again, lots of length through the left side body here. One more deep breath in. Exhale to come back down. Left hand comes to the floor. Inhale, right hand high. Gaze can come back and up. One more deep breath in here. And exhale to release. Let's start to come all the way up. So we'll rise up nice and slowly, taking the hands to the roof. And then we'll exhale, forward fold, dive all the way down. Find a halfway lift on your inhale. And an exhale to forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach for the sky. Point the toes out, exhale, sit down back into your squat. Take a deep breath in. And an exhale out. Another inhale. On the exhale, stay in your squat. Walk your hands forward. Find a fold in your Malasana yogi squat. Think about keeping the hips pressing down towards the mat as you reach out through the fingertips. Tuck the head in. One more deep breath in. On the exhale, walk the hands further forward. Lift the hips. Come back to downward facing dog. From here, we'll ripple forward into a high plank on an in-breath. And then we'll come to a child's pose, taking knees to the ground, hips to heels, forehead towards the mat. And here we soften and we stay for a few breaths. And we ground back down, we connect with the mat. Again, you notice where your body is making those points of connection with the mat. And you receive, you can create that feeling of heaviness, of deep relaxation as you soften here into this pose. One more deep breath in. And an exhale out. As you inhale next time, come up onto your left fingertips. Wrap your right arm underneath your body, stretch it over towards the left side of the room, and find a little twist here. You can stay here, or you can now walk your left hand towards the right side of the mat so that you find a bit more opening through the back body. One more deep breath in. Exhale, let's come back to center. Both arms are towards the front of the mat. A deep breath in. And then on exhale, taking the left arm to the right side of the mat, underneath the right shoulder. Coming up onto the fingertips of the right hand, and then perhaps walking the right hand over towards the left side of the mat for a little bit more. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release. Let's come back to the center. Sit your upper body up, hips are on the heels. Take the hands behind you. Let's find the quad stretch again. So fingertips either pointing towards the knees or in the other direction if that feels better, and then you lift the hips up. You press out through your shoulders. One more deep breath in. Exhale, bring the hips down. Walk the arms forward. Let's find all fours. Plant the left hand down. Inhale the right hand high. Exhale, take it under, thread through to the left side. Press your left hand down onto the mat. Let that help you come into your revolve. And you might like to take the left hand and place it on top of the right. That could give you a little bit more traction here. One more deep breath in. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, right hand to the sky, gazes up. Exhale, release back to the mat. Same thing on the other side. Inhale, left hand to the sky. Exhale, thread it through towards the right side. Come down to rest on your left shoulder. Keep pressing your right hand into the mat, or perhaps you take it onto the left hand and you find how that helps you come into perhaps more rotation. One more deep breath in. Exhale, right hand back down. Inhale, left hand to the sky. Exhale, down to the mat. Come forward just a touch on the in-breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your feet wide to the edges of the mat. Point the toes out. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, walk your hands back. Malasana yogi squat. From here, we'll rise all the way up on the breath in, reaching for the sky. Exhale, forward fold, dive down. Halfway lift, breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach for the roof. Exhale, Malasana yogi squat, sit back down. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. One more breath in. On the exhale, walk your hands forward. Let's find downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, lift your right leg high to the sky. And you might like to bend your knee here, open up your hip, bringing your heel towards your backside, your knee towards the roof. Keeping weight even between your hands, shoulders are level. See what you can do to perhaps lift your knee a little bit higher, and you might like to come up onto the toes of the left foot. One more deep breath in here. Exhale, bring the knee towards your chest, step your foot through between your hands. Let's find a low lunge, dropping the back knee. And here we'll just move into the hips, so starting to move back and forward from a lunge to a half splits, half Hanuman. Finding a dynamic way of working into the left hip and the back of the right leg. And then we'll come forward into our low lunge. Start to look forward. See what you can do to perhaps come a fraction deeper, being mindful of switching the left glute on, so sort of squeezing the backside there and seeing if that changes the feeling in your hips. One more deep breath in. Exhale, let's come back half Hanuman and we'll stay. So hips now over the back knee, lengthening out the right leg and resting on the heel. Let your upper body come down over the leg. Breathing into your hamstring, letting the back of the leg soften with each breath. One more deep breath in. Exhale, let's come forward. And from here, you've got an option to either just take a revolve by lifting your right hand up towards the roof, or you might like to use that right hand to pick up your left foot. As you come onto the knife edge of your right foot, you let the right knee drop out to the side and you bring the left heel towards your backside for more of a quad stretch there. You choose which option works for you today, and then spend a few breaths just enjoying the pose. One more deep breath in here. Exhale to release. Bring your hands to the inside of your right foot and then walk them over towards the left side of the mat. So we're in a high lunge or a low lunge here, but changing the direction of the upper body and noticing what that does to the sensation in the hips. One more deep breath in. Exhale, let's come back to the front and we'll find a lizard pose. So you might either stay here up on your hands, or you can come down onto your elbows if you feel like that works for you. And all you need to do here is stay with your body, stay with your breath, and see what you can do to soften. Maybe with each breath you can find a sense of heaviness in the hips, letting them drop further down into this posture. Let's stay for 3 more deep breaths here. When the 3 breaths are complete, right foot walks over to the left side of the mat so that we can set up for a pigeon or a half pigeon. Left leg keeps extending long back, upper body stays tall to start, crown towards the roof, shoulders relax down. Using your hands to support you, you might like to stay here. This might be exactly where you need to be today. Or you could start to bring your upper body down and forward into a pigeon fold. And we'll spend about 10 breaths here. So again, see what you can do to create that sensation of heaviness in the body. Using each breath really intentionally to soften you, to help you release, and to help you stay present here. Take your last breath here. And then start to lift your upper body up, tuck your left toes, step back, downward facing dog. Take your feet a little bit wider than the mat. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, walk your hands back. Sit down into your Malasana yogi squat. Maybe you notice that the hip that we worked on feels different to the other now that you're back in your squat. Let's take our side openers here. Take your right hand to the mat. Inhale, left hand high. Look back behind towards the hand and up. One more deep breath in. Exhale to release. Left hand is down. Right hand comes up. Deep breath in. And exhale to release. Inhale, let's come all the way up, reach for the roof. Exhale, forward fold, dive your body down. Halfway lift, breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, let's rise all the way up, reaching for the sky. And exhale, Malasana, we return. Sit the hips low. From here, we'll find our Malasana forward fold. Walk the hands forward, find a stretch through the back body. Keep pressing the hips down towards the back. One more deep breath in. And on the exhale, walk the hands forward so you come back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, let's come forward to a plank. Exhale, drop the knees. Child's pose. Just a couple of breaths here. We return to our starting place, our restorative child's pose, our grounded pose. One more deep breath in. On the exhale, walk your hands in, lift your upper body up, take your hands behind you. Let's take the quad stretch as we lift the hips. Open through the front of the shoulders. Pressing the hips just a bit higher each time, each breath. One more deep breath in. Exhale to bring them back down. Walk your hands forward. Let's come straight up into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, lift your left leg high, and then open up the hip on the exhale breath, bringing the heel towards the backside. We'll stay here just for a couple of breaths, seeing if you can lift the knee perhaps a little bit higher as you stack the hips. Maybe you come up onto the right toes. One more deep breath in. Exhale, let's come forward, step the left foot between the hands, drop the back knee. Work into the hip, dynamic again, moving back and forward. Do it at whatever pace you like. Sometimes it feels good to do it with the breath. Sometimes a bit quicker is better. So a nice dynamic hip opening. And then once you've had enough of that, start to come back into your low lunge where your gaze is forward, your shoulders are relaxed, you're resting on your fingertips. One more deep breath in here, seeing if you can drop the hips a little bit more on the exhale. One more deep breath in. Another done. And then come back to your half Hanuman, your half splits, bringing your hips over your back knee, extending through your left leg, resting on the left heel. Upper body can come down towards the extended leg if that feels all right. And from here you soften. You use the breath. Let's stay for 3 more deep breaths here. And after those 3 breaths are complete, bring your body forward. We'll come into a revolve. So left hand will either come to the sky, or you can reach back and take hold of your right foot as you draw it in towards your body. If you do that, come onto the left, the knife edge of your left foot, and drop your left knee out slightly to the side as you twist around. Feel the quad opening, the hip opening. the twist. One more deep breath in. Exhale to release. Walk your hands towards the right side of the mat. Stay in your front lunge. And let your upper body face out towards the right side, crown reaching out. As you lunge into your hips, notice the change in the sensation there. One more deep breath in. Exhale, let's come back to the front of the mat, but hands to the inside of the left foot, both hands, and we find our lizard pose. So again, you can either stay here up on your hands, or you might like to come down onto your elbows. And then you see what you can do to soften into this pose with each breath. Think about the hips getting heavier with each exhale, dropping, releasing. One more deep breath in here. On the exhale, press up onto your hands. Walk your left foot over to the right side of the mat. Let's set up for pigeon. Let the crown reach towards the roof to start. Keep your upper body tall. Find the position that works for your hips here. And again, you might like to stay here. Sometimes it's a better stretch for the right hip in this position. You might like to feel it there in the front of your right hip. Or if you want to intensify things in the outside of your left hip, then you can come down. If it helps at all to keep the back toes tucked, you might like to do that. Sometimes it feels better on my knee. Or you can put the top of the foot flat on the floor. Just be mindful of not rolling out to either the left or the right side, seeing if you can keep your hips in the center. And again, we've got about 10 breaths in total here. So let's say another 7 more. When those breaths are complete, start to come up onto your hands, tuck your back toe, press back to a downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale that breath out, take your feet to the edges of the mat, walk your hands back, sit down into your squat. Let's open through the sides, take the left hand to the ground, right hand high, a big breath in. Exhale to bring it back down, switching sides. Take the opposite hand to the mat and lift. Look back, reach back. One more deep breath in. Exhale to release. Inhale, let's rise all the way up, reach for the sky, stretch out through the body as you reach up. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the crown. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, let's rise all the way up, reach for the roof. Exhale, back down into our Malasana yogi squat. Stretch the hands forward, leave the hips low. Let's find a fold in our squat. Encouraging the hips down towards the mat, finding length through the upper body. One more deep breath in. Exhale, walk your hands forward, hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale to come forward, high plank. Exhale child's pose. Let your body soften down. Couple of breaths here. Last time here. One more deep breath in. Exhale, lift your upper body up, walk your hands in. Walk your hands all the way behind you, and let's come for the last time into the quad stretch where we lift the hips, press out through the shoulders, open through the front of the shoulders. One more deep breath in, lift the hips. Exhale, sit the hips down onto the heels. Let's find a seated position. And this is where we will end the class today. But I want you to take some time, if you've got it, to stay here. Can you let your crown reach up towards the sky? Can you feel length through your spine as your shoulders relax down your body? Your hips are getting heavy onto your heels. You feel that sense of groundedness through your legs, your lower body, your shins as they press down. Your hips as they provide that weight, that pressure onto your heels. So that sense of heaviness through the lower body, but a sense of lightness and extension through the upper body as you reach your crown to the sky. And all you have to do here is just breathe. So see if you can watch your breath here for a few minutes. And maybe you take a count to the breath so that you notice if you start to get distracted or your mind wanders. And the count that I'd suggest is on an inhale you count 1. On an exhale you count 2. On an inhale you count 3. And an exhale you count 4. And you keep going all the way up to 10. And once you hit 10, you go back to 1, work your way up to 10 again. And do it as many times as you can fit in, for as long as it feels good. And I'll leave you here with that now. But I will see you again in a couple of weeks for another beautiful practice.